Okay, so Manchester United, we all know, have had an awful season, just football-wise, but it may be even worse for the financials. Because for those who don't know, PSR works in a 3-year rolling cycle, and for Man United's last period, they were like 2-3 million under the maximum loss of 105 million. If they had won the Europa League, they're somewhat fine. They can continue going on how they were. But the money men of football have looked at it and they reckon Man United are looking at about 100 million hole in PSR. And you have to make up this 100 million before you can even start signing players. So to breach the financial hole that they've created in the books now with PSR, they have a few options. The obvious one is selling off a lot of players, and it's probably going to include Mainu and Garnacho, possibly Bruno Fernandes, but Mainu and Garnacho are two young players where you could go get a lot of money in the market. And those two alone could go a long way to breaching the hole. But even then, when you say you're about 100 million short, those players are pure profit. With selling them, you probably only just about get to where you could then, if you sold another player, sign someone. They do have other options where they can look into the loopholes a club like Chelsea have used. This is Chelsea just selling assets they own. This is selling hotels to essentially themselves, selling their women's team. Basically using any asset the club owns and just selling it to like a different holding company. And of course, the third option is they do just breach PSR and take the points deduction for not next season, but the one after, depending on how big their PSR hole is. So currently, going into the summer, it's 100 million, like just over 100 million. That's how much over the losses they're allowed they are. Which, for context, Forest breached PSR by 34.5 million. Everton breached PSR by only 16 million and initially got a 10-point deduction, then moved to a 6. But I really don't think you want to play around and find out what punishment you're going to get. Because let's say we start looking to like a 15, 20-point deduction, which I think would probably be unlikely, especially if you tried to minimise how big of a breach you had. But if you're looking at numbers like that, Man United could face the possibility of relegation. And it basically all comes back to Man United over the past decade and a half. At no point, a lot of people in the football world have said, oh, Man United have got to get smarter in the market. They've got to reduce how much their wage expenditure, because the revenues of the club are still massive, which shows how mismanaged it's been. Because they're now at the point where it's a bit too late to just go, oh, offload a load of your big earners, raise the floor of the squad, get in a bunch of cheaper, younger, athletic guys, try find value in the market. If you'd done that 5 years ago, maybe they don't win some of the cups they did in that time, but they've kind of made sure a situation like this can't come along. But by not addressing any of these issues, it just comes back to shit on it, shit on it, shit. Because now, when you have to make 100 million up on the books for this summer, obviously, yeah, sell like some of your assets, sell like some players you can get profit out of, shift on big earners. But you're almost in a place where when you do all that, you can't do anything with the money because all you're doing, the only reason you're selling off these assets and these players is just to cover up a big hole in your FFP or your PSR, because this is the issue of kicking the can down the road. Anyone in football could have told you for years that these issues are there at Man United. Everyone for years has known it's the most overpaid squad in world football. But the bravado and the this is Manchester United has kind of led to them going, well, instead of doing a clear out and bottoming out for a year and then rebuilding with a sensible wage structure and being better in the market, every year instead they've gone, but if we signed two big players in the summer instead of cutting all these costs and trying to be sensible, we're probably favourites for a Champions League spot next season. I don't know, anyway, that's just my kind of 2 cents on it. Comment down below what you think about the situation. Like and subscribe, new channel and all. Then I trying to get 50 subs, I guess. Not at 50 subs, 50 is a nice number. Ah, fuck it, let's go 100. 100 subs by the beginning of the season. Fuck it, we ball. Anyway, thanks for watching.